The whole idea of independence was really exciting to me.
I was excited most about the opportunity to live on my own, completely independent of my parents. That was exhilarating.
First of all, you think, am I old enough to have somebody that's ready to go off to school?
Seeing your daughter off on her own for the first time is tough to let him go.
The first thought I had as I watched my parents leave was, thank God I made it, I'm on my own. But then, the second thought, you half expect them to turn around.
A little tear rolled down my cheek. I thought, okay, well, this is really it. I'm a big girl, here we go. And took a deep breath, and then that was it.
With each step, with each going to kindergarten, going to middle school, going to high school, it's a big deal, but this is a really big deal because the students are getting ready to leave home.
For the first time ever, this young adult gets a chance to go into the world and explore any and everything they've ever wanted to do. College presents that possibility for them.
The goal is for them to fly. The goal is to get them out of the nest.
For a parent, I think it's hard. Me being a single mother, I was his advisor, doing absolutely everything and anything for him. But I had to learn to let go, that he was becoming a young man, and he had to make decisions for himself.
Then I was interested in making sure, can she do her wash? Does she know how to prepare a simple meal? Like all these things, like as a mother, did I do all the things I'm supposed to do before she leaves the nest?
The exciting aspects of going away to school were freedom. I'd been at home for 18 years, and the chance to really just go away and live on my own as an adult and, really find out who I am as an individual away from my parents.
You have given your children, hopefully, some strong, fundamental morals and values. This is the time for them to test them.
You begin to feel as a parent that you have less control. They're still on the payroll, so you have the financial, but they are clearly owning more and more of their life.
You're ready to move forward, and I was so excited. I was ready to graduate from high school, so excited to move on to college.
Our children definitely became more independent, and as a parent, it is really hard. After you've put 18 years into their life, and now they, are kind of pushing you to the side.
College can be really, really hard, but it's fundamentally good and exciting and gratifying, not just for the undergraduate, but for the parent.
I think what you have to recognize is that this person is undergoing a real metamorphosis, and that there's going to be some changes, but I think that these are welcome changes.
One of the most exciting aspects of my children going off to college was all the new possibilities and options, and thinking about them taking ownership of their lives as opposed to me being in charge of their lives.
I think the best way for a parent to assuage the anxiety or stress that they might have with their child looking at colleges and the college search process is, first of all, to know that it's going to be okay.
I think as parents and their children embark upon the college search process, probably one of the best things they can do early on is ask questions of each other and try to get their child to open up about areas of interest.
What is the right fit for me? What is the right place for me academically? What kind of experience do I want? How far away from home do I want to be? What kind of overall social experience is this place going to offer me?
You ask your kids questions. You're concerned about their welfare, but ultimately this is their journey. And I think we have to be very, very cognizant of that and respectful of that process.
the student is really taking the reins and picking where he or she may want to go or what he or she may like. And that can be opposite from what the parent may like or what the parent may want. And I think really exploring what the child wants is important and just being very supportive.
I felt the role that I needed to play was really one of just being encouraging, being a sounding board.
During the college search, I felt myself leaning on them a lot and wanting to ask them questions. What was their experience like? Did they like going far away? Did they like being closer? I feel like our relationship really grew because I leaned on them for advice.
I encourage parents to have a frank conversation with their sons and daughters about the cost of a college education and what they believe they're going to be able to reasonably afford to pay for a college education.
Sometimes hard decisions need to be made about making decisions around what we really can afford as a family, and that can be tough.
I think the most stressful part about the college search is that it's going to bring change. But what's exciting about it is that it's a rite of passage. So it's an exciting but challenging time. It's not necessarily a time of how many schools did I get into, how many I didn't get into. It's a time for celebration that it is a student becoming a young adult, moving on.
We were on pins and needles waiting for the decisions after he submitted the applications. All of us would check the mail.
That moment when you decide, you just feel good. And that's how it should be, you know? You should just feel good about your choice.
We had a big dinner and celebrated, and everybody wore gear from the school, and it was pretty festive.
I think what is really exciting about the college search process for families is that it is a letting go for the parents. It's also a reaching out, a branching out for the students.
We were so excited, and of course in the back of my mind I was so nervous, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening, I'm really going to college.
When a child leaves home, whether it's the first, second, or last, it definitely affects the dynamics at home. Whether it's the one who's at home has all that attention left on him or her, or it could be the last one and the couple is now looking at, okay, this is us, what do we do?
This is going to be a wonderful time. Your kids will actually leave home and give you some time to really begin a life with you and that special person in your life.
I think for a single parent it can be difficult, especially if it's their only child leaving or now they are completely alone.
I can actually remember my son saying at dinner one night, "Mom, what are you going to do when I'm no longer here?"
With time, it became easier, but it definitely was an adjustment period.
Having, cell phones, email, Skype, all of that is really nice, and I don't know how people communicated before any of this. I don't know how that happened. But to be able to shoot her a text and say like, hey, thinking about you, hope you're having a great day, I'm loving it here.
You get almost all of your information online or through a text. You don't get a lot of the vocal interaction anymore. And that's how teenagers, that's how they communicate. You have to kind of get into that too.
Because of texting and email, and we tend to be in constant contact with our children. And in some ways, I think we owe it to them to let them be autonomous and be on their own a little bit.
So I would call her pretty much every day, maybe a couple times a day sometime. And I think it was finally my mother, her grandmother, finally said to me, you don't have to call her every single day. She'll be okay.
Usually the first time that a son or daughter will see their family when they first go to college will usually be a fall break or a Thanksgiving break. And it can be very challenging for the son or daughter to come home after having several weeks of freedom, several weeks without a curfew, several weeks without necessarily the house rules.
I feel like the first time I went home after being at school, it was so weird because it was like I was home, but it wasn't really like home. I wasn't living there. I felt like at one point I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back to school. I'm on my own plan. I'm on my own schedule.
It was interesting because you could see she was clearly not a high school student anymore.
Just because they're away at college doesn't mean that they're 30, but also the parents have to realize that they're not 14. So they need to find a common ground in terms of that.
So that was a little tense because his time was not my time. Like when I was up, he was sleeping. When I wanted to go to sleep, they were all up.
Going home was a little bit of a shock. I expected everything to be just the way I left it, and I expected everyone to be there, everyone be the same. And I didn't really think about how much I changed and how much I grew.
It was nice just to see friends and family, and you really appreciate them. You've kind of been removed, so you forget how awesome they are.
It's a short window, and it goes by so quickly that in a blink of an eye it'll be gone, and there'll be a different person on the other end of it.
I can't get over the change in her. She's very confident. She's so assured of her path. She's so happy in what she's doing. She's just very comfortable in her skin.
I feel like my relationship with my parents, it just really matured. We became more friends.
It was exciting because, ultimately that's what you want for your kids is to have them become independent and to succeed and do well on their own.
That excitement at graduation is more than just my son or daughter has accomplished this goal. It's also my son or daughter is a different person. They've grown. I see how smart they are. I see how accomplished they are.
The maturity, the depths of the conversation is very noticeable.
I think we're as close as we always were. But I'm seeing he is this young man. He's ready to go out into the world.
The occasion of having a child go off to school is a moment of excitement. It's a moment of celebration and achievement. It's a moment to embrace.